The Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by EdgeBoost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 matching deposit bonus. Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're back. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Joel Meyer. How have you been, Joel? Hell of a week here.
Hell of a week indeed. Yeah, when's the last time we recorded? We recorded on the Lord's Day last time, Sunday night. That's right, our one and only. Since then, we've been mostly up, thanks to the Lord's blessed, the Oklahoma City Thunder winning in the game 5 there. That was absolutely terrific. The Panthers couldn't get it done that night, but no worries. They got it done 2 nights later. So, yeah, I don't know. Like last year, of course, we had tons of Nugget stuff, which unfortunately ended terribly with them blowing a big lead in Game 7 against the Timberwolves. But Timberwolves are no match for the Thunder in this one. Thunder just like a level above everyone else. We're just worried about their playoff pedigree. But yeah, they learned along the way. They grew up. This team is just absolutely elite. I expect them to dominate, and so does the market. They're minus 700, minus 800 to win the finals. So that's all well and good. But yeah, that was terrific. Panthers killing off the Hurricanes. Absolutely terrific. So Friday night was a bit of a catch-up night for me. Went to sleep at 8 p.m. I did wake up at 2 in the morning tonight, though, or this morning, I guess, to watch my girl, Mir Andreeva, beat down Yulia Putintseva from Kazakhstan. And then my guy, Yannick Sinner, just absolutely crushing Yuri Lehechka. Felt bad for him almost, considering he went almost 2 whole sets before he won a game. And then I went to have, and I took a bath and I went to sleep. Yeah, woke up a few hours later and watched the Champions League final, which was also a beatdown. Absolutely the worst final you can ever watch. PSG just destroyed Inter Milan, which was unfortunate for us. But yeah, I'm just sad I brought my dad out for the game, brought him to the city. Just to see that misery. Yeah, not the best final you'll ever see by any means. Yeah, what else happened this week? We got tons of tennis going on. We're getting to the business end of that tournament. And the Oilers, they got the job done. No questions there. We can get into that in a little bit. But yeah, enough about my week. My week was terrific. Thanks, though, mostly to the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Florida Panthers, of course. But how was your week?
My week was terrific as well. My birthday bender went down to AC for 2 nights there, so that was a grand old time down there.
You hit some good bets too. What was that, Monday night?
I had some good bets on the Oilers puck line, and I had their team total over 3.5. So the 2 empty netters there were huge. That third period was really the only period of hockey I watched those 2 nights, thankfully, because it was the best one for our teams. I saw our Panthers lost, couldn't even score on my birthday there. The 3-0 loss. Was kind of getting worried there on Wednesday night, down 2-0. I was like, is this the Panthers fatigue catching up? Haven't had 2 days off in a few weeks now, but no, they Kachuk on the power play. They got 2 in 30 seconds. They came back. They got the job done. So now we got close to a week off before the Stanley Cup final. So I wanted to do just kind of like a vibes episode here, kind of talk things out, because you see at most places it's a pick 'em, and like coming into the series, if any capper is out there being like, oh, this is a steal, back this team, they're lying to you. Like no one can actually believe that there's like an obvious bet on this series. Like it's a rematch, but there's so many different things happening now. Like the Panthers are better with Seth Jones and Brad Marchand. Oilers, like Leon Draisaitl had no goals, 3 points last year in the Stanley Cup final. He's healthy now. No Hyman, but they have Ekholm back. Like there's so many different angles to look at before even a game starts. So it should be a few good days here of speculation. But yeah, no sports last night. We got the Champions League, NBA, Pacers, Knicks game 6 tonight. So at least there's something on tonight here. So I
want to hear more about Atlantic City. You're going on and on about stuff we already know about. But how was Atlantic City?
Atlantic City.
What did you eat? What did you drink?
There was this like Asian noodles place, so we had noodles there. Had a nice Mongolian beef. Had all my comp dollars there. Had a nice.
Are you sure it was beef?
I'm pretty sure it was beef. It was
Wasn't
lager. And
horse?
my wife she tried to get a Pinot Noir, and they brought her a Pinot Grigio in like just this little like little water cup, and she's like,
how do you confuse those two?
I don't know. She's like, no,
one's red, one's white.
The red wine, the Pinot Noir.
I can understand Pinot Gris or Pinot Blanc, but Pinot Gris or Pinot Noir.
And she does not like white wine, so I was like, all right, I'll have this, and I chugged that down, and that was the beginning of the end for the first night there. I went back up to the room. Was a little bit worse for wear. I rallied rallied back up for that night. Next night, don't get too much into the table games or whatnot. So just slots on the floor, hit some big, would end up losing, getting a bunch of free drinks. It's about going down there, free rooms, free food, free drinks. So all the comp dollars there. It was a good time. Always a good time to go down there. But it's always like leading up to my birthday. It's been nice weather, like 70s, 80s here, and then it was just gray down there, like in the 60s. Like couldn't even go out and like enjoy the boardwalk or anything. So
so typical Vancouver day then.
Yeah, was stuck in the casino, but worst places to be stuck, I guess, when you have a free food and drink. Dilly in the chat here got a horse.
That's what I was saying.
Place, yeah, and it was a new location. To
be fair, if anyone's going to do horse right, it's going to be the Mongolians. So you could probably confuse it for beef the way they do it.
Yeah, and like there were renovations since we last went. There was like this gypsy bar that we used to go to, had good margaritas. That's gone now. Our restaurant isn't that new place. Like it's good though. They make renovations. Always a good time down there. Always a good day or two to get away and kind of refresh, reset everything, and feeling good now.
Never been close to Atlantic City, but one of my favorite shows, Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
The Boardwalk features prominently, of course, in that show, in the name and all that. But yeah, Atlantic City, good times there in the 1920s.
Yeah, I mean the Atlantic City beach is like one of the worst I've ever been to. It's like cigarette butts and just
that was the
around and shit.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, isn't that where they went? Or is that more Jersey?
I never got. I mean, that is Jersey. Atlantic City is Jersey. They may have went to like Wildwood.
It was the rum ham episode, if you ever saw that one.
I haven't. No, I mean they probably went to Wildwood. A lot of Philly people go to Wildwood. It has a big boardwalk. It's kind of like it's where Jersey Shore, but like the South Jersey farm. It's not what's it? Seaside Heights up there where they filmed it, whatever. So yeah, AC just a bunch of people hanging around. Much like the bunch of people that hang around Vancouver that you see up there, I'm sure.
A lot more tan, I guess.
Tan or burnt. Yeah.
I mean, we got Herod over here. You got what? What's the drug of choice over there?
I mean, I think it's I don't know. I think it's which one makes them
go just good for you.
It might be heroin. Which one just makes them go like zombies where they're almost
it's more like PCP, like meth and that kind of thing.
I don't know.
Meth, I want to say is more like Midwest though.
I think it's whatever they.
This is a Dilly question. He's in the fucking chat.
Dilly would know. Yeah, Dilly would definitely know. I mean, Dilly knows all the Florida and all the all that stuff down there. So I don't know if he
absolutely knows. Yeah, he's the real Florida man.
The Atlantic City
Florida
stuff,
fish.
Yeah. Good time down there. Glad I didn't have to miss too much stuff going on. So it was a good time there. All right, got an ad here. SGP guys are going to be ripping packs live on air next Monday night. I'm not sure if that's this Monday. They'll be breaking a case of Panini Prisms with DAPS, and you can get 10% off your favorite team with promo code SGPN. Go to sportsgunpodcast.com/break to get in on the action. I didn't mean an actual ad break. Joel has walked away. So, we got a few nights off here before the Stanley Cup final. We're not going to dig too much here into the puck buck bets. Just going to go over the vibes here. Joel's back, so we can get going there. Ask him a few thoughts. It wasn't an actual ad read, Joel. It was just a 5 minute in.
I thought it was early.
SGPN. Yeah, no, it was. We got Catfish says probably some stepped on coke in Atlantic City. I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it's true of most places outside of Miami or LA.
So I think there was one big talking point out of each clinching game in the conference finals. Do you want to talk about the Paul Maurice, Rod Brind'Amour handshake saga, or Pete DeBoer pulling Jake Oettinger after his defenders allowed 2 goals?
Yeah, or neither. No, I mean preferably neither. But we got time to kill. Yeah, the handshake thing, people are all crushing Paul Maurice for it. They're probably, I listen to a lot of Leafs media, right? Like Toronto guys, they all hate Paul Maurice now because the Panthers keep killing their team.
Yeah.
They think that he's being all pedantic, professorial, like teaching everyone how the game is supposed to be played and all that. Who gives a fuck? He knows more than like 90. He's the top 99 percentile of people who know how the game is supposed to be played. I totally agree with them. Like, there's no reason why we should see like 40, 50 guys in suits who aren't playing the game, shaking hands with all the players. I can understand the coaches doing, like the actual head and assistant coaches, but other than that, if you're not on the ice, just get the fuck out of here. If Rob Brind'Amour wanted to shake hands, that's his right. Paul Maurice is going to like step in his way.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he can do that too. So I don't get what the big deal is. I agree with him though. Like the guys on the ice, he's right. Like the visual of it, having all these people in suits doing it, it takes away from what's supposed to be something special, which is the handshake line, which a lot of people call one of the best traditions in sports. So when they have a whole bunch of people who haven't playing the game, it takes away from that. So that's my opinion. So I think Paul Maurice is definitely onto something. I do not understand what everyone is getting after him. Like him, between him and John Cooper though, like they both have this this real like holier than thou kind of mentality, which I love. I love that kind of thing because like they could back it up though, because they're winners and they're very poetic in how they speak and they're knowledgeable about the game. Like if you didn't know shit about the game and you're doing that shit, then absolutely you would tear them down. But they actually do win at the sport and they actually do back it up with valid points. So I'm all for Paul Maurice once again.
Yeah, like if Brind'Amour wants to go out there and shake hands, go ahead. Yeah, but I was listening to 32 Thoughts yesterday, and they were like, when you're a losing player out there, how many guys in suits hands do you want to shake? Like the assistant coaches, the video coaches, like it should be the players that played in that. Any player that played in the series is fair game, and maybe the head coach and like 2 assistant coaches. That's it. That's it. You don't want to be shaking the hand of some like strength and conditioning coach or some equipment trainer on the bench. Like, yeah, great series. Yeah, good job working with the sticks. Like, yeah, we know what we got on our side. Like, the players should go out there. I don't see the big deal Brind'Amour is trying to make. Like,
McDavid didn't even want to come on the ice to receive the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And people were trying to like, oh, well, Maurice shook hands last year with the Oilers after winning the cup. Why does he feel like? Or the Hurricanes not good enough for him? It's like whatever. Like he said, him and Berube, agreed before the Leaf series they wouldn't do it. I guess Rod Brind'Amour, being a former player, former Stanley Cup champion, like he wants to be out there with the guys as if like reliving the glory days. But handshake stuff, just it doesn't really do much for me. Not too much there. Anything else in that series that was interesting the last few days there? Barkov, absolutely sick setup on the Carter Verhaeghe winning goal. Good to see Matthew Tkachuk coming alive as well on the power play goal there that got them going. I'm trying to see if anything else come out of the game 4 that you noted.
Game 5 or
game 4?
Game 4.
The game the Hurricanes won.
Oh no, we're the one that. No, the Hurricanes were the better team in that one. Finally, they changed some things up. They were able to get more breakouts from the defensive zone. They were able to get around the Florida forecheck. But once again, it's just I don't know. That game was more about like the Panthers being a little complacent. Hurricanes absolutely desperate because that whole streak of 15 games in a row that you've lost in the conference finals. They had to be playing for something there. So that was a pride game. And they played their best, one of their best games of the playoffs anyway. And yeah, it's tough to close the team out. And Panthers are one of the better teams at doing that. But yeah, we also saw them fail to do that 3 times against the Oilers in the finals last year. So this shit can happen. That was just a pride. I don't have much. I no doubt, like even in game 2 or game 5 rather, when the Hurricanes were up a couple goals, I still thought the Panthers were going to win the series, and they won it in that same game. So yeah, I was not worried about the Panthers at all. Knowing my opinions on the Hurricanes and their fortunes in the playoffs. So yeah, game 4 was just an oddity. Bobrovsky once again gets away with a goal, getting called off on an offside. Another one of those unfortunate challenges for his sake, his Conn Smythe case, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. But yeah, game 4, not much to say about that one. Stankoven, he was probably the best forward for the Hurricanes. Maybe Sebastian Aho in the end, and especially got the first 2 rounds was excellent, but Stankoven was all over the place. So yeah, we got to give some credit to him considering how small he is, and people just making fun of the Hurricanes for their size and adding another small guy. So I just wanted to give credit to him, but they do need to get bigger. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Stankoven is a great fit there. I mean, he's no Mikko Rantanen, but they got him. They got 2 other first round picks they can use and get whoever. Seth Jarvis, also, a young guy. He was asked about, how do you get these young players? Remember being young or whatever. And he's 23. Like he's 5'10", he's smaller. I saw he had like a long-term injury. He came up huge in the playoffs. So like if they can go out and get a legit top line winger, move Seth Jarvis to the second line, move Stankoven to the third line, like they can get the depth that the Panthers have, but they can't have Aho and then Kotkaniemi and Roslovic and Stahl and these guys down the middle. It's not enough. They don't have the players that can, grind it out, forecheck, cycle, and then use their skill to score. They have players that can grind, forecheck, and cycle, and then try to get the pucks on net. And it's just, they don't have enough skill. So maybe they go out and do that. They have a lot of cap space this offseason.
Well, part of the problem is not the locale, but the way that the Hurricanes play is very demanding. Which Grant was not at all interested in doing the forechecking work, which is why he didn't want to stick around. Jake Gensel, I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm sure living in Florida is a lot more preferable for him. So they're trying to do the right thing to get these elite talent. It's just tough to keep players in Raleigh, I think, considering the style of play and how preferable other places are to live, I guess.
Yeah, and I know Mitch Marner is the big guy out there. You're going to like this speculation I have. Mitch Marner to Anaheim. They got centers. Give him a top line winger. Play with McTavish, Carlson there. Coach Q obviously coached high octane offenses with Taves and Kane. Like Marner can be the Kane in there.
Yeah,
and he'd fit right in the Anaheim culture. A little surf boy.
Yeah, he'd get all the fucking whiplash from the Toronto media, though. Like considering, Toronto's too tough for you. Let's just go put some fucking flip flops on and play in Disneyland. Yeah. Yeah, I do like the Anaheim team. They have a ton of potential. It just matters about the right coach getting them going. And I'm absolutely high on Anaheim this year. I wish that Coach Q didn't have the off-ice baggage or what have you, so he could bet him for Jack Adams. So that's going to be a fly in the ointment. But other than that, I do think the Ducks play well and succeed next year. But Marner, we would fit in there well in some respects, but I don't know. It's gonna like there's a reason why if you look at the odds, like for the next team to attain Mitch Marner, it's a whole smorgasbord. There's no clear favorite. Blackhawks, of course, are up there. Friedman and Saravelli have mentioned Vegas. You mentioned Vegas. Hurricanes make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's all up to Mitch Marner. Ducks are certainly up there because they have a lot of potential to be a very good team there. Once again, another Western powerhouse coming up.
Yeah. Like insiders like, this team could be interested. This team could be. Every team should be interested.
Utah too.
It's just Utah, I think, should be one of the favorites. It's just a matter of where Mitch Marner wants to go. Like that's really what it comes down to. Wherever Marner wants to go, he's going to sign with. That's
because everybody has cap space now. Like it's not an issue with the cap going up and all these teams and that there's like a terrible free agency class. So Mitch Marner is clearly at the top of the list. So it's entirely up to him.
He's going to get paid. All right, speaking of the paid, we are brought to you by Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees and no minimums. You can earn cashback rewards, and there's a 100% approval rating for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And of course, Underdog going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1. The longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Also got the Stanley Cup Final game 1 stuff up there. So make sure you keep an eye out on the Hockey Gambling Podcast Twitter account for a video on that. And right, that's it there. One more thing on the Panthers series I wanted to mention. You know how there's like the gentleman sweep in sports where a team wins 3 in a row, loses game 4 on
I know
on
what
the
a gentleman
road.
sweep is, yes.
Yeah, so the Panthers did the anti-gentleman sweep where they lose game 4 at home, just so they can go on the road and embarrass the team in front of their home fans. Did that in Toronto.
It's still a gentleman's sweep,
Carolina too.
It's not anti. It's just
no, it's not anti. But it's not a gentleman's sweep, because a gentleman's sweep is like, all right, you get a win in front of your home fans, and then we go home and celebrate.
I didn't know that was the condition of it. I thought it was just if you're up 3-0 and you lose the fourth. I didn't know at home or away meant anything to do with it.
I heard some people talking about that, and it was like, it has to be the home team wins, so you go home and celebrate in front of your own fans.
All right, that's the first I've ever heard of that. I thought it was just purely 3-0.
I could be wrong. I'm not an expert here on
me neither
on the gentleman's sweep terminology. But yeah, let's get over to the Western Conference Final there. You had the Stars in Game 4. You thought they were being a little bit disrespected there. That was the game where they were the better team in the second period, right? And the Oilers pulled away.
Yes, it's tough because always the last game is the freshest in your memory, but absolutely, Stars were the better team, certainly in the second, probably in the first as well. But once again, just like Game 3, where the Stars were dominant once again, we're testing our memory here. It was like a week ago, but I think it was the first period in Game 3 where the Stars were absolutely dominant and the Oilers got a late goal, or the Oilers got the only goal, and the same thing happened in Game 4. Where Stars were entirely dominant in the second period and the Oilers got the goal. So that's just a backbreaker. And then the Oilers just carried the game in the third period. They showed their force, but I don't want to talk about that game. As for the whole series, though, like the Oilers, their top gear, which is what we were saying, like they have a higher pace, they have a higher top gear than the Stars do, and they showed that the Stars' depth, which is what they should be counting on, considering their top 9 is what's got to be the decisive factor for them to win against the Draisaitl McDavid lines, and it wasn't a factor. We talked about Wyatt Johnson's line having a terrible plus-minus, Jamie Benn non-factored, Tyler Seguin was okay. Nothing much there. Matt Duchene somehow didn't have a single 5-on-5 point in the whole playoffs, which is ridiculous when I learned that. Yeah. So yeah, it was like if Ranton wasn't going, that team wasn't going. So much for the Stars' depth, and that was the difference, because the Oilers' depth did show up, and their blue line. We went into the playoffs thinking that it would take a step back without Matthias Ekholm, but doesn't matter. Like Bouchard was very good. Klingberg coming into the lineup, he was very good. Who else? Like Nurse, he played well. Kulak, then a few bad giveaways, a few bad penalties, he was okay. So yeah, as long as that blue line wasn't an Achilles heel, and Skinner was going to play okay, then the Oilers were going to win, and that was the case. Skinner was elite. He stopped the puck when he had to at the right time, and yeah, he's got one of the best stat lines going now in the playoffs for goalies after being pulled in the game, in the series against the Kings. So yeah, it's not what we thought the Oilers would be, but it's working for them, which could bode well for the future.
Yeah, Oilers have been very impressive, especially holding leads in the third period, holding leads in that Game 5. The Stars had 4 shots in the third period. In Game 4, they had 4 shots in the third period. I think they had 9 shots, I think, in the third period in like Game 2 or Game 3. But the Oilers just completely shut it down. Like I said about the Hurricanes, the Oilers can do that, but then they have the McDavids, the Draisaitl's, the Canes, the Jeff Skinner's getting in there to score goals. Victor Arvidsson was very impressive there in the Game 5, taking a few big hits from Leon Bichelle and, getting back up and, just swallowing that puck in the corner. So they are completely bought in. Matthias Ekholm coming back is going to be huge for them. Zach Hyman missing the rest of the series with whatever injury he had, some arm injury. I mean, he definitely went into the play.
His fucking shoulder was falling off there.
Yeah, dislocation or something. But it seemed like he went into the playoffs like, all right, I'm going to go in. I'm going to hit everything that move to prepare myself for this Panther series. And, one too many hits, I guess. Just too much wear and tear on his body. True. But, like, he was one of the guys in the locker room after that Game 7 loss. Like, we're a special team. We're going to be back here. So it is kind of sad for him to see that, but they've had guys step up. Corey Perry coming up and playing up in the lineup. Evander Kane going up to the second line. Like I said, they have the depth. They have just as much depth as the Panthers, I think. In terms of goal scorers and point scorers in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they can go tit for tat with them, but like
nobody has the depth of the Panthers.
Oh no one has Brad Marchand on the third line there.
Right, Anton Lundell could be a top line center for like half the league.
Yeah, and with Ekblad and Seth Jones like playing first and second line, it's first and second pair. It's crazy there, but that Jake Oettinger pull in Game 5 just
wait. One more note on Hyman though. Like he was on pace to have the most hits ever in the playoffs. So that reinforces your point that you're going with there with the wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you're saying, I'm just backing this up. Like that's going to matter a lot in terms of the physicality, and the Oilers have been far more physical this playoffs than they were last year. Like they bullied the fucking Vegas Golden Knights, and we talked about how that was supposed to be their strength. I thought the Knights would be able to bully the Oilers, but it was actually the converse. And yeah, they ran the Stars out. They could not match the physicality. Now we have the two most physical teams going at it. But without a Hyman, that's a big loss, though, because he definitely provides a lot of that forward-checking pressure. So I just wanted to emphasize that point there. Like that's pretty mad that he was on pace to be a former Leaf of all people, being the heaviest hitter in the playoff history.
Yeah, like Corey Perry maybe can like replicate some of his offense up front in front of the net, but like you said, that forechecking, getting in there, making the defenseman think, like that's one less
Jeff Skinner
guy they have to worry. Jeff Skinner, Kasperi Kapanen can maybe do that a little bit.
No.
Maybe they get Arvidsson they're both small. Maybe they get Evander Kane going a bit more, but they're looking good. Their defense now, Ekholm back, just drop. They have Ekholm, Nurse, and Wallman on the left side. Like one of those guys is going to be on the ice no matter what. And if it's Nurse, he's with Kulak, who's responsible enough defensively to lay some big hits there. So they're looking good. And it was all business for both sides after celebrating. Edmonton last year, it was like, oh, it's a dream to make the Stanley Cup final. No, it's all business this time around. They know what they got to do. I guess we'll see what Connor Brown's injury is. He was kind of a unsung hero for them down the lineup, but yeah, I do want to discuss that Jake Oettinger pull from Pete DeBoer. Also, I'm not sure if you saw today, Rupe Hintz confirmed he had a fracture in his foot, so that would definitely not help the Stars' depth. And why are you grinning like that?
It makes the slash from Evan Bouchard like the game that it came back even better.
Yeah.
I love that greasy shit though. Come on, it's in the playoffs. It's a war. You're not gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
That's why players don't disclose how they're injured until after the playoffs, unless you're Austin Matthews. You'll just never disclose what he's.
Friedman was telling a story on 32 Thoughts from Dave Isaac, a former Flyers writer, who when Briere was in the playoffs, like it came out somehow that Briere had a rib injury, and then Briere was like, "Oh, thanks guys, they've been hitting me in the ribs. My rib's not injured, so I've been able to get by with it." So stuff like that is the game within the game with all these players is great.
Love it.
But yeah, also today, exit interviews for the Stars.
You can get on with this Andre thing. I keep interrupting you.
It's fine. But Pete DeBoer comes out and says he has not had a chance to talk to Jake Oettinger since pulling him there.
But did you like the call to pull him or not?
No, I hated it. I absolutely hated the call there. I know some of the broadcasters liked it. It was like, all right, you got to shake up your team. But he called timeout. That's the shakeup. The shakeup is the timeout. You don't do a timeout and pull Jake Oettinger, who's clearly the better goalie. It's not like this is Edmonton where you rely on Skinner and Pickard. It's not like it's even Carolina who Kochetkov got into a game. This is like, Maurice wouldn't do that to Bob, whoever their backup is. I think it's Vitek Vanacek or someone like that. Like Casey DeSmith is a career backup. And then he lets in that third goal. I thought Oettinger was going back in for the second period. I know some people thought that as well, but I mean, with the way he was pulled, and then there was a video from, I guess someone probably from the press box took it, like, of all the Stars coming out for the second period. Jake Oettinger was like high-fiving all his guys. And then Pete DeBoer comes by and Jake Oettinger is just like the Homer Simpson into the bush meme, just like standing there still. So I hated the call. Like Pete DeBoer gets credit for, winning in game sevens, but like that was a complete panic move. You win in game sevens by being calm, sticking with your guys, knowing why you're losing. The two goals were Corey Perry on the power play in front. I think the assists were McDavid, Draisaitl, and then was Janmark was in front for the second goal. Maybe you should stop that one, but there's a better way to wake up your guys than pulling your potentially Olympic starter goalie.
Well, at the time, I don't have a strong opinion either way. I'm not gonna pretend that my way is the right way, but no, I think that the entire series was going against them. They won the first game. They need to have some kind of like dramatic move. We've seen how things can change. Like fucking introducing Calvin Pickard worked for the Oilers for them against the Kings, and DeSmith he played pretty well against the Predators for the Canucks in the last season. There was the same kind of thing where Demko got hurt. DeSmith came in and helped them win that series. So it's not like he's entirely deprived of playoff experience. Plus, with the Penguins as well, he came in big moments too. So I'm not entirely opposed to that move, considering Oettinger was having a pretty bad series for his standards. He was very good early in the playoffs, but I mean, when you're down 2-0 against the Oilers, you need something dramatic. Just a timeout, I don't think, is enough to generate enough of a radical shift. The fact that Oettinger was skating back to his net, though,
I was going to bring that up too. Like, if that's another reason. It's like, all right, I called timeout. I guess my message didn't work. Let me pull the goalie now. It's not like you're at timeout, goalie done. We're changing things. Like, all right, timeout. Let me get my message out. Then Jake Oettinger's going back to his net, and DeBoer's like, no, we're putting into Smith. Like, that would have shocked the team if anything. Like, wait, what are you doing? Like why was that the order of operations? Also, like, you saw Maverick Bourque took that horrible penalty, but just careless high sticking penalty that led to the Oilers goal. He could have benched him, but he was like, no. Maverick Bourque went back out there. He had a few good chances in the second period. Like, Jake Oettinger is one of the Stars' best 5 players, if not 3, if you include Hintz's injury, Mikko Rantanen not doing anything. You got Heiskanen, Harley, Oettinger has to play well. And yeah, Pete DeBoer came out after the game, said like he's lost now 6-7 to Edmonton in the playoffs. Something has to change. So I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't think I would have liked it if it worked. I wonder if he would have stuck with DeSmith if it worked somehow. But I don't know. Pete DeBoer, I said it 2 summers ago, I think, like, he just can't get over the hump for some reason. He's Mr. Game 7. He's undefeated in Game 7s, but he can't get it done. And
yeah, what's this Game 6 record, right?
Exactly. Like, how are you Mr. Game 7 and you haven't won a Stanley Cup? Like,
right.
you made so many conference finals. But I mean, it was the team, like you said, like Matt Duchene not having a 5-on-5 point, Wyatt Johnston having the worst plus minus in playoff history. It was a 7-way dead heat for the most goals. You had Leon Draisaitl. I mean, Tyler Seguin had 2 goals. He had 2 goals in Game 1, and that was it. They just could not.
I didn't have Jason Robertson. I thought I had Jason
Robertson.
Robertson.
I don't think so. I think you had Draisaitl.
I might have just mentioned them.
We're doing puck next shows. We can.
I'm not going to push back anymore. You know how I feel like goalies. One is as good as the other. So my whole idea is just like shake up the rest of the team. Get the 5-on-5 stuff going. Come on, boys. Play for the guy behind the net or in front of the net, rather. Yeah, it's much ado by nothing. We can carry on. We did our service for the general sports radio talk.
Yeah, let's do our do some ads here, and let's dig into some Conn Smythe before we finish it out. Brought to you by Rhythm. Our job at SGPN is to help you find the best picks. Now we've got a new tool that takes things to a whole new level. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won a high return on investment. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We've got the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for the entire stay. 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league. 6 double king rooms. Hold the draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit. Limo transportation, a welcome party. Reservation at the sportsbook with $500 beverage credit. 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. Enter now until the end of June. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And we got mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the playoffs. For the true DGens, you get the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, let's get into some I guess a series here. Stanley Cup final. Oilers Panthers pretty much at a pick'em at most books. Here at DraftKings, you got the Oilers minus 115. You got the Panthers at minus 105. How are you feeling about the series, Joel? If you had to make a bet right now, what would your favorite pick be?
Well, ever since the Oilers beat our Knights, if you got to beat the king, then you are the king, or how the fucking saying goes. So ever since then, I thought it would be a rematch of the Oilers versus Panthers, with the Oilers winning round 2. So for that reason, I do think the Oilers pull it out, but in good conscience, I can't back the Oilers with any serious amounts of money here. Like you were saying at the beginning of the show, like these lines are pretty fucking sharp. Oilers got a tiny bit of early action, I guess, but not too significant. And yeah, I do think that the Oilers are a better team than last year. Panthers, they brought in some new bodies, and they're more or less the same overall. They just bring these good new guys in. They mention how they're playing for them. They want to win the cup for them as well, much like the Lightning when they won their double. So I do think intuitively that the Oilers win the cup, but I'm not going to stake a lot of money on that. It's more about the Conn Smythe conversation for myself. But yeah, if I was just betting in a vacuum, I would take the Oilers, because I do think that they have an X gear, and McDavid is just that level of transcendent talent where he can just carry the team on his own. We know how much it means to him, and of course he's backed up with a better crew than last year, I believe, considering what we've seen from their blue line this year. And Skinner's playing at elite level like he was towards the end of the playoffs last year. So I think overall the Oilers do have the just a slightly higher gear. It's the fucking Panthers too. So like the way that they can wear teams down. So if the Oilers played with enough physicality that they showed against the Knights, I think they could do the same kind of thing against the Panthers, who are similarly built, similarly big. Knights are actually a bigger team overall, I'm pretty sure. But Panthers just have a little bit more of an aggressive energy, a bit more jerkiness, if that's a word, like especially with Marchand in the lineup now. Of course, we got a bunch of Finns for the Panthers. We know they're a bunch of winners. So yeah, in a vacuum, if I just had to place one bet on this finals, it would be the Oilers at minus 115. But a lot of that is just simple intuition. Like the narrative is very strong. We always hear about when the Oilers won their first cup there in the 80s, they had to beat the Islanders, who they lost to in the series before, in the prior year. That does tend to happen. But yeah, that's just narrative bullshit. But I've just got this intuition, man. It's coming like, okay, we can go on a discussion about Plato and the transmigration of the soul. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But basically, we've experienced this lives before, and you have memories from the prior life. That's the gist of it. When you insert a new body in a life, but my memory may be a little off there. But yeah, Oilers minus 15 would be the only play for me if I had to make one. But I don't know, man. Like this is I want to enjoy the series, and I don't want to bet on the Oilers. I don't want to back them at all, because I'm going to be in a fucking bar, and I don't want to be surrounded with a bunch of Oilers fans, and I don't want to see them win. Like I don't want to see the Oilers win the cup. I want to see McDavid win. I want to see Draisaitl win, but the Oilers, like the city of Edmonton as a whole, as a Vancouver right here, I'm not interested. I want to see the Panthers win another one.
Yeah, I mean, Oilers here. You mentioned their first Gretzky's first one against the Islanders. There also the Penguins with Crosby and Malkin. Their first one, they lost to the Red Wings, came back the following year and beat them. So could very well be Gretzky, Crosby, McDavid all doing that here in a rematch. And yeah, you look back at here the series stats up from last year. McDavid 11 points, but after that, Bouchard and Warren Fogle had 5. Hyman, Janmark had 4. Then you got Ekholm, Draisaitl, Kulak, Nurse, Henrique, McLeod, Holloway all had 3.
Draisaitl was playing on one leg.
Draisaitl was hurt. He had 3 points, all assists, 16 shots on goal in 7 games. He just was not himself at all. Like, so having that this year, especially him kind of carrying his own line. It's him with Kasperi Kapanen, and whether it's Kane or Podkolzin or whoever on that left side, like it opens up Nugent Hopkins to play with McDavid, whether it's Perry there or whoever they put up on the other side without Hyman. And like you look at them ranked by average time on ice in the series, Bouchard over 26 minutes, Ekholm 22. Then you had CC, Broberg, Kulak, Desjardins, and Nurse as other defensemen. Like now you have Wallman, you have Kulak playing better, you have Nurse playing well because he's not with Cody Ceci. Like it's just improvement everywhere there. You know, but also kind of
Broberg's still a loss.
You don't think Wallman's better than Broberg?
I guess 1-for-1, sure. But then you have I guess overall the blue line is better.
Danner isn't good. Yeah, it's he only played one game. He played one game. So I guess CC played 6 because CC got benched for one game. Kane only 2. Was he hurt or just like out of? Was he hurt last year?
That's why he missed the whole fucking season, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so only 2 games for him. He'll be ready to go there. But then for the Panthers, I mean, I mentioned it in our group chat. I mean, Erod led the series with 4 goals. He was the leading goal scorer with 4, 7 points to lead the Panthers. Barkov 5, Lundell 5, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett all had 4 points. Look at their time on ice. Like, I don't think Gustav Forsling is being talked about enough in these playoffs. Like, I feel like he's playing just as solid, just as well as he always is. 23 minutes last year. He was a Conn Smythe dark horse a bit last year. Not going to be the case this year, I imagine. But Ekblad there.
And he had more votes than Bobrovsky.
I think he may have. I think he may have there. You got Montour, you got Seth Jones replaced him. Barkov, Mikkola, OEL. Who do they have instead of OEL now? They got I don't know. They got decent depth.
Oh, they have Seth Jones. They have
Well, Seth Jones is for Montour. Kulikov, is Kulikov on there? Kulikov is down here. He's playing a much bigger role this year. Nate Schmidt is their guy, I guess, who replaced OEL there as kind of the veteran.
That's downgrade.
Yeah. But I mean, Marchand over Tarasenko. All of their forwards are playing a lot better. Kachuk is hopefully healthy now. So yeah, and Bob obviously in that .899 save percentage last year. Like it's a rematch. It should be a great series. Hopefully we get 7 games. Like that would be great to see, but it could very well be, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. It could be 5 games, could be 6 games. So the interesting thing to look at here, as you said, of course, is the Conn Smythe. But if I had to play a bet on this series, maybe an Oilers -1.5 at +180, or an Oilers in 6 at +550. The Oilers do have home ice. I believe the Panthers had it last year. So that's going to be something to watch out for. But also, these are the 2 best road teams in the playoffs by quite some margin here. I believe the Panthers went 8-2 with a 48-21 goal differential. Oilers 6-3, 32-28, and they both did not have home ice advantage.
Is Toronto a real home ice though? Games 5 and 7.
I guess we should take
a little asterisk there.
If you even take away 12 of their goals, they still have a 34-19 in their 8 other road games there in those final 2 ones. So, but the huge thing here might be the Oilers penalty kill. It was fantastic last year, not the case this year, and the Panthers
they didn't have Ekholm.
Do have him back there. So yeah, should be a good series. Let's get the Conn Smythe odds up, though. That's really where we're talking here. McDavid +110, Draisaitl 9-1. I still think McDavid gets it if the Oilers win the cup. Like unless Draisaitl has a Marchessault type run, I think it's McDavid there at +110. Bob +260, Barkov +550, and then Kachuk 32-1. It's still just Barkov, right?
What do you think? Yes, of course. This would have been preaching for weeks now. Yeah, it's going to be McDavid for the Oilers unless something ridiculous happens, like Draisaitl just scoring like 6 goals in the series or something like that, and McDavid doesn't do much. Even then, you never know. There's going to be a lot of bias towards McDavid regardless. Because he's the captain, and people are going to be so happy for him winning the cup. They'll want to reward him with the Conn Smythe. So all the narrative factors, or favors McDavid rather. And for the Panthers, we've been talking for a while that Bobrovsky should not be the favorite there. Personally, if I was voting, I would have him like way down. But we're going to factor in the actual votership or what have you, and I would say that Barkov should still be switched with Bobrovsky there. I would put Bobrovsky around 5-6 to 1, Barkov 2-3 to 1. Because look, Bobrovsky is set to play the Leafs, who have one of the worst offenses in the league, and then to put the Hurricanes, who just padded his stats. Sure, they have the expected goals for numbers, but that doesn't mean much. Leafs have one of the worst expected goals for numbers. Just a matter of elite talent carrying the day, and Barkov, he's going to get the default. I've been saying that for a while now. Like people thinking, oh, there's no elite forward for the Panthers taking over. But you know what? That means Barkov just wins by default. That's why he wins the Selke by default now that Bergeron is out of the league. People recognize his talent. And if you actually watch the games, you can see how dominant he is. Like his play to set up that, was it the 4th goal, I think, for the Panthers in the 3rd period? Absolutely ridiculous. And the 1st period, too, on the power play. I don't think he got an assist for it, but he was absolutely instrumental in setting that one up. If you watch this guy, like every shift, like he's just pushing forward, and the analytical stuff, the underlying numbers, they all back this up. Barkov is absolutely one of the best players in the league. He just doesn't get recognized for it because he doesn't have the like the point totals for like a Kucherov or what have you. But what he does on both ends of the ice is absolutely elite, and that's factored in now with the voters, and that's why I think that he's the default choice for the Panthers, because it's not because of the Panthers goaltending that they're winning these games. I've been over this a million times. It's going to get like a fucking broken record there. Bobrovsky has not won a single game for the Panthers. Like even that game against the Hurricanes, game 4, he had the chance. He had the chance to steal that one, but he didn't. He let in a goal. He let in 2 goals if you count the one that was ruled out for offside. That was his chance to steal a game when the Panthers offense wasn't going. That was his opportunity. If he won that one in a shutout, absolutely, he should be more in the mix, but he didn't. So he's been fine. Like I'm not saying he's playing bad. He has good numbers. He is doing exactly what the Panthers need him to do, but that doesn't mean that he should win the Conn Smythe. That's the most important player for the Florida Panthers. So once again, it's Barkov. It's going to take something ridiculous in the finals for someone to pass him, I think, and considering how these points are shared, especially on the power play when he's the guy dealing with dice, as it were. Maybe if the Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, Verhaeghe line gets going, like they're the more offensive weapon for the Panthers. So if they just like go off, maybe one of those guys can get it. But that's the. I'd rather bet one of those guys than Bobrovsky at plus 260. I'll say that much. But my only bet recommendation right now would be Barkov. Tkachuk at 32 to 1. That's a pretty good number there, actually. Considering how well he looked. He looks like he was totally like dead on his feet in the first 2 rounds, but he was very good against the Hurricanes, especially late in the series. So he finally looks healthy. Now he gets the whole week off. So Tkachuk is absolutely live there at 32 to 1. So we do have some Tkachuk, but I think unless something dramatic happens, it's going to be Barkov for the Panthers.
Yeah, and we saw it last year. Like Bob can come in as the favorite and then have one awful game. Like if the Panthers allow 5 goals, like a 5-3 loss in game 1, like Bob is way down the board and Barkov is the clear favorite for the Panthers, because Barkov is not going to be like, oh well, McDavid went off. It's Barkov's reason. No, it's going to be on the goalie. And Chuck 32 to 1 is a good look. It is one of the better prices out there. He's as short as 18 to 1. Sam Bennett, like you said, that second line, 39 to 1. He has 10 goals, by far the most on the team, 16 points right there behind Barkov. And then just pointing out, if my mouse would move, these 2 down here, Marchand 110 to 1. That's kind of our off-market price. I don't think he has the path anymore.
He has a path.
Well, he would have to have like a Marchand path. He'd have to have like 4 goals, 3 goals, game-winning goals in the series. But Verhaeghe, he's 40 to 1 at multiple books, and then 110 to 1
When the Vancouver media, I've listened to a lot of Vancouver media, right? And they all say that they love Marchand now. Like they feel guilty about it, considering the history with the Canucks and the Bruins. But now they're all saying like, "Oh, I kind of like Marchand now." Like, and the Toronto guys too. They have all this.
Yeah.
Like he's just like he's got them all eating out of a spoon, a Blizzard spoon, if you will, from Dairy Queen. But yeah, Marchand there 110-1 is ridiculous. If you want to play long shots, absolutely, I have Marchand in pocket. He's got a ton of narrative power. If he has like 2 goals, like Panthers win like 4-1 in a series there, he has absolutely live. I think considering his power in the media, there's a ton of narrative bias behind him, even more than Bob.
Yeah, Sam Reinhart down here, 170-1 at FanDuel, but 80-1 and 60-1 elsewhere. Did he look healthy in those final 2 games? He came back after missing, because I know he didn't really have any no shots on goal in his final 3 games.
Did he play all those 3 games? He only missed.
He played 1. He missed 1 and then came back for. I guess he came back. Yeah,
he came back for game 5. He doesn't look really good.
He had 2 assists.
He's got a whole week off, so I don't know exactly what the injury is.
Yeah,
but that's a question. But 170-1. I mean, I'm not going to tell you say no. I mean, it's a 7-game potentially 7-game series here, and he could actually go off. He's a Selke finalist as well. So
yeah, so it's Barkov. Barkov should be the favorite at plus 550. Whatever he is down to plus 460. Even that's fine. But like.
Really, like Bobrovsky's just hogging up so much of the equity in the Panthers. It's like I see value in like all these Florida guys.
If you don't want to bet Barkov, or then take some of these long shots. Take Verhaeghe 110.
It's a fun bet. You get to watch those guys the whole time, and then chances are they're going to score.
And if any of these guys have 2 goals in game 1, it's like a 4-2 win. Like those guys come down to what Tkachuk is. If not
you talk about the cash out options.
That's what you're doing with these Reinhart and Verhaeghe, especially because like sure you can get 80-1 is the next best, but you can get 170. Throw 2 $5 bets down. You ride one out. You take the other one as cash out value, or however much units you want to put there. Like that's what you got to look for here. It's like, okay, does this guy have a path? If he has a goal or 2 in game 1, what will his odds be after that? Like, because all these guys are bunched up for the Panthers. Let me show this. Barkov, Bennett, Tkachuk, Marchand, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, even 13 points.
Look at that third line, baby. Marchand plus 11, Listerine plus 11, Lindell plus 12. Mm-hmm. Destroying, because the other lines get the best matchups, right? Like the Matthews line against the Barkov line. So this third line is just been the absolute killer. So that's going to be the main test for the Oilers, if they can match up with that third line. And that's when you brought up like the home ice advantage too. Like last year, the Panthers had the advantage of that shift change, right? They can line up the guys against the Oilers top line whenever they want to. So now the Oilers have that distinct advantage, and they did lose the first 2 games in Florida. So that could be a decisive factor in this rematch.
Yeah, I thought that Lundell may have played against the Matthews line in some of those Leafs games. I'm not sure if Leafs
I'm sure he did. Like Panthers, they roll them all out. They can do, because you might as well have that. Barkov's a more offensive juggernaut, right? So if you could put Lundell against Matthews, cancel him out, then you put Barkov against fucking Max Domi or whoever the fuck. Yeah, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, so I'm saying even with being on the road, like if you can put up Lundell against McDavid instead of Barkov against McDavid,
right?
Like, it's just free. Like the Panthers having those 3 pretty much elite lines. Like you don't trust Bennett defensively, but you can get a good matchup for him. You can trust either Barkov or Lundell against McDavid.
Yeah, having Lundell and Barkov.
Oh. Yeah. So yeah, should be a great series. Great series. All right. Any other closing points here before we close things out?
Well, Kevin was saying, do we guys do tennis? Of course, we are huge Jannik Sinner fans here. I don't have like anything actionable to give out, but we do like tennis. I'm enjoying the French Open, especially now that Bristol Center has been a highly chalky tournament, might I add. So we'll see how things shape out going forward, but we do like Jannik Sinner. Mira Andreeva is our girl, of course. And he asks, are these Germany and Italy flags? I was scared of them 67 years ago. he's got his math wrong. I'm assuming he means like 1930s, 1940s, but they're not even. It's not even an Italian flag. It's an Austro-Hungarian flag and a World War I German flag. So just clearing that up. But we do like tennis, and no, we are not Nazis.
No. All right, yeah, I am planning on putting together some sort of Stanley Cup final contest. We got the winner, the Conn Smythe, some other props here and there. So we'll hopefully have that ready to go by our next episode. If not, make sure you check us out on Twitter at HockeySGPN. I'm going to post the details there. Post the details in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Ring that bell so you know when we're going live. Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff as well. And I'm Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Meyer. You'll find me hoping the Pacers finally kill off the Knicks so I can stop being tempted by these Alabama jokes.
See ya.